All right, and we should be live. I just want to check here to see if we're live. As I am, I'm streaming with the screen away from me, so I can't really see the comments right now. And this should be live. Let me check it right now, just again. And cool. Yes, we are live. So today, well, I've been saying videos on Mondays and Thursdays, and I've been sticking to that, and it's exhausting me. And I'm going to talk about being a musician and creating content and marketing yourself and just balancing what's your approach. Do I focus more on my playing? Do I focus on marketing, networking? Should I do Instagram? Should I be trying to get deals on TikTok? How do I get more gigs? And it can be overwhelming, especially like in the music field when there's not necessarily a blueprint. You don't go and apply for a job. There's not a LinkedIn. You really have to go out there and build your own name and build your own self in your career. And what I've been struggling with lately is I'm overwhelmed. I'm doing a social media detox, and I think that's going really well, and it's tough. And when you, especially for a musician, so I think we feel the need to constantly be out there trying to do something to gain attention, to have people watch us, trying to do something to push our career forward, and then we're also always comparing ourselves to somebody else, and then we just get overwhelmed. Like this paralysis by analysis. That's what I suffer from. And I'm in a spot where I'm really trying to reprogram myself. And I feel even unsure, insecure about doing a video like this because a lot of my videos have just been about Nashville, breaking in the scene, climbing up the ladder here. And it's something that people are really interested in. And I feel a pressure to keep on making great content about that stuff that I can promote and stuff that will potentially go viral. And I guess I've been feeling overwhelmed and not really invigorated by doing YouTuber content anymore. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because there's times where I get burnt out on playing music. And I love playing music. But right now, I've been really struggling with recalibrating my brain, my energy, my intentions, and figuring out what I want to do. There's a lot of things I struggle with, like, should I be focusing more on making money? Should I be focusing more on networking, doing the long play? Should I be focusing more on just overall stability? Do I need to be practicing more? Do I need to be putting out more content? And when we have those kind of overwhelming feelings, we don't know where to start. And then sometimes, I know for me, that just made me spin my wheels. I was just not sure where I was going, what I was doing. And the stress and anxiety really got to me every day. It just overwhelmed me. It's still overwhelming me right now. I wasn't even planning on doing a video today, but I just got like this jolt, I wouldn't say of inspiration, but just of realization, like, okay, how do I position myself to where I want to be? And like, what do I want to be? And I just can't go to the musician place and apply for a job as a musician. And there's so many different things I want to do as a musician. Like right now, I'm doing a lot of songwriting. I'm going to be at BMG tomorrow writing some songs, which I'm really excited about. I'm doing videos that are a little bit more in depth than this. I'm also working as a side musician, playing with a few artists. And I'm also like giving some lessons. I'm doing a lot of things musically. And sometimes I feel like I'm barely keeping my head above water, both in terms of my satisfaction with life and my personal satisfaction, and or my musical satisfaction. and then also my financial satisfaction. And I just don't know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, there's not one defining aspect to your life or your career. And I've always been somebody who goes all in on one thing. Like I did Ironman and just Ironman triathlons for a while. My whole life was centered around doing those races. And that was great for a while, and then it just ultimately led me to being unfulfilled. And right now with music, I restarted my music career. I took a long time off, and I'm in year 2 of building my music career. Well, I finished 2 years. This is my 3rd year. I hadn't played for a decade, and now it's like things are in full swing. I'm playing full time. I'm making money, but I'm also having to invest a lot of money because I'm just starting my life over again, needing to buy a car, needing to buy new instruments, needing to get a new place to live, needing to buy a computer, and all this on a musician's salary while cost of living is going through the roof. And I feel a lot of overwhelming anxiety. And I'm not sure what to do. And so this is where the concept of Ikigai comes in. It's now by no means am I an expert on it. I think it's been practiced in Japanese society for a while, and in the 60s somebody kind of distilled it into a book. And I put a little bit of there's a link here if you're curious about it, and if you want to see a diagram. But Ikigai is basically a huge diagram. Let's take like 4 circles. So you talk about what you love. You talk about, one circle is what you love. Another circle is what you can be paid for. Another circle is what the world needs. And another circle is what you are good at. And you need to find the sweet spot between all of those. Like, for example, is there something that you can be paid a lot of money for, but you don't love? Yeah, it might not be fulfilling to you. Or maybe there's something you're good at and the world needs it, but it's not what you love. And I did that with physical therapy as well. And I was very interested in doing it, but I did not love it as much as I loved music. And so right now, I'm kind of in this very weird nebulous area where I'm feeling crushed and overwhelmed by producing content for YouTube, putting stuff out there on Instagram, going out in person and networking. I'm learning how to use Final Cut Pro right now to get better at videos. I'm learning how to use Logic Pro, another audio platform, so I can integrate that better with Final Cut. I'm also working on my guitar and my piano skills, and that is really tough when you only have an acoustic guitar and you have a 2-octave keyboard. But those are the things that I really love to do, but everything is all scattered. But I love being a musician. I love creating. And I think the challenge most people have is finding something you can be paid for as a musician. Now, I know I can go and play 20 cover gigs a week, and that's not an exaggeration. And I'm good at doing that. And I love playing music, and I think the world needs musicians. However, doing it in that capacity is not quite as fulfilling to me as writing my own music, creating my own music. And when I'm just doing cover gigs or playing with an artist and I'm playing 40 to 60 hours a week, literally behind a drum kit, there are moments it can be exhausting and it burns me out. Conversely, with YouTube, it's something I'm really learning how to do. And it's not YouTube in general, but I like making videos. I like telling stories. It's very much like writing songs, where you have a concept, an idea, and you trim the fat, and you play with the pacing until you get it just perfect. And it's a labor of love, but it's very rewarding. And I feel that way about doing videos. And I love this skill of storytelling. And I try to make content that I could have used coming up. And I think, what do musicians out there need to hear? And that's another part of that Ikigai. It's, okay, the world needs to hear real talk about music and musicians and mental health. And the music world needs to take a real peek at what's going on, and that it's not all easy, And I want to be an example to other people to show that it's okay to struggle with things and wrestle with your identity, wrestle with money. And I like doing that on YouTube, and I try to be as honest as possible, and I love doing it. Can I be paid for it? Well, I mean, yes and no. I make a little bit of money off of Google AdSense. I have a couple supporters of the channel who I'm eternally grateful for, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate their help. And I put that money into the channel, into buying gear, or into okay, I'm not going to take this gig today so I can make this video, which I think is going to be more fulfilling and ultimately pay more dividends in the long run. And I think I'm good at it too. I'm still learning and I still could be better, but I really enjoy the process. And I like doing it, but I don't love doing it as much as music. I just really love writing music and creating music. I love creating stories. I mean, I love creating videos, and I think I'm good at it. I'm just struggling with ways to be paid. And I think the world needs, again, like what I'm doing with these real looks at being a musician and just documenting my journey. It's really to give people permission to be messy, to be sloppy, to be themselves. And what I struggle with is, what can I be paid for? And if I want to be paid for this, I need to do it on a regular basis. But music is my love, and YouTube is just kind of, it serves music. It's a way to market my music or myself as a career. And I want to show other musicians this is what my career is like. But I want to focus more on the creative aspects. And really, so that's where I'm trying to find this blend of being an entrepreneur, being a musician, being an artist, being a content creator, copywriting, being a videographer, a photographer, an audio engineer. It's overwhelming. So I'm really trying to think, what makes me happy? What does the world need? What can I get paid for? And what am I good at? And I think what I'm always stumbling on is the what I can get paid for thing. And, most people say 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Yeah, 3 out of 4 ain't bad, but when the rent's due, you kind of want to have that one thing. So that's where I'm at right now. And am I going to get any solutions right away today? No, this video isn't about that. And if there's one thing you take away is that it's really a journey. It is not, Ikigai is not just like, do this and you'll be fine. It's really just a collection of small victories, finding things that like bring you joy in the moment, finding things that fulfill you, and then you can move on. So for me, I love to play. I love to write. I love to create. I love to communicate with other people. I love to think and kind of just ponder on that and have something to say. And my mission has always been like what the world needs. I think the world needs more authenticity in the arts, more authenticity in just the communication, and more authenticity online, because it's so easy to try to curate your presence online and be somebody that you're not. And I can do that for a little while, but then it just exhausts me. It wears me out. And I know that I'm not the only one that feels a pressure to keep up a certain image or a certain pace. And you're just like always needing to be on. And sometimes it makes you are turning into a product. You're turning into a brand and not a person. And the world doesn't need that. The world needs authenticity, and that's what I want to stick to. And that's why today I'm just going to do a live. I'm not writing out a script. I'm probably being terribly inefficient in my words, saying a lot of things over and over again and stumbling. Because also we are so programmed to think that we need to get things out quickly, out more. And I think our attention spans are going down, and our quality of life going down, our enjoyment, fulfillment, our happiness is going down. And I think a lot of that is because we have all this FOMO. We're like thinking, okay, we need to check Instagram, or I can't wait till I'm done with this conversation with somebody so I can check my emails. Or if you go to lunch with somebody and it turns into a long lunch and you're itching to like look at your phone, I think that's a result of just being just bombarded with information all the time. And why I like doing YouTube is because I want to sit down and have a conversation and think about things. Because life isn't just a simple A and B exercise. There's so much gray area, there's so much nuance, and we are all so unique, and I want to explore that. And I think in order to really know someone, you don't get them through like a 10-second Instagram soundbite. To see how the sausage is made, you don't get it by just scrolling through a feed. I think sometimes you have to sit down and really take a look at what's going on and hear other people's stories. And that's what I try to do on my channel. I try to be as authentic as possible, and I try to create authentic music. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I have a lot of songs that I've written just about my own pain and my process over the past 2 years. Struggling with depression, struggling with addiction, loss, grief, breakup, sense of self, redefining myself, refinding myself. And that's what we continue to do here. And that's where it gets tricky, because it's where you get paid for. And do I present myself as a put-together brand and keep everything buttoned up and strict and professional so I can be hireable? And there's nothing wrong with that, especially in the music world. Like, music is a job, it's a business. And one of my gripes about social media is that so many people, musicians, are using it as social and they're not using it as business media. But then also, we are musicians, we are artists. It's hard to separate our business, our persona from ourselves. And with me always wanting to be authentic and be myself, I don't need to tell everybody everything. But yeah, I need to be real. But then does that impact my professional goals? Does that impact my earnings potential? For example, I know I could earn a lot more if I did gear reviews on this channel. That's a little bit more lucrative. And I'm just not interested in doing that. Maybe like every now and again, but I don't have the patience or interest or desire, even though that's more financially lucrative. I was getting indicators that I should focus on drum tuning, or I should focus on just Nashville on my channel. And I could make more money and gain followers that way, but that's not my end goal. You know, that makes me a little bit more money in ads, but it's inconsequential. I want to make more of my money playing music, creating music. And that's not simply something you can just snap your fingers and do. You have to show up every day, write, record, create, iterate. It's a long, slow climb, and it's really the journey. That's where the growth and the reward is at. So I'm still figuring out the money thing, and that's the biggest part of stress for me. Finding out a way to build multiple streams of income while still maintaining fulfillment. And like also knowing what I'm good at. I'm not a great singer, so I'm probably not going to be cutting any demos that are going to go to the top of the charts. I'm not ready to be gigging out on guitar yet, but I can do that in recording. But I'm good at making videos. I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at being who I am, and good at, I don't know, I think I've stuck with this long enough that people think that I'm good at YouTube. It's just something it's not necessarily being good, it's like, what are you willing to put time into? Are you willing to put time into your music? Oh, you want to be a social media influencer? Are you going to do this every day for the next 3 years like it's your job, like being 24/7? And some people like that. I don't. I like playing music, and I'm good at it. I'm not always the best at going on the road under brutal conditions when you're driving in a van, but I can do it. I get a little bit crabby, but is that what I want to do? I don't know. But I'm trying to overcome all these challenges, like with self-doubt, my insecurity, fiscal instability, burnout, depression. And I'm tweaking things here and there. Like, I'm not spending as much time online anymore. I'm trying to spend more time with people out in real life. I'm trying to send more emails and personal calls. Like sometimes I'll just personally email someone, say, "Hey, how's it going?" Like a letter. I'm trying to spend a lot more time with community and a lot less time on screens and be more present. And I'm just kind of rambling right now. I have no idea if anyone's even watching this or if it even recorded. But this is also me being vulnerable because I feel, I don't know if I feel dumb, but I feel slightly embarrassed I don't have a produced video today, and I'm saying I do videos every Monday and Thursday. Maybe I bit off more than I can chew. And I want to admit that, and I want to say that out loud, but I also want to say I'm not giving up on it yet. I might need to readjust that. But it's very much like, you know, the whole thing about Ikigai. You find these 4 overlapping circles and you find a center spot. And sometimes you might be tilting one way or the other. But if you're finding something that you love, that you're good at, that the world needs, and that you can make money, and if you can like touch corners of each of those, you are doing great. It doesn't mean every day is going to be great. Doesn't mean every day is going to be easy. But if you can do that consistently, I guarantee you, you're going to be fulfilled. You're going to see things happen in your career and your personal life. And you're going to have a little bit more of a sense of purpose. And I think purpose isn't just one thing. It's a collection of things. And finding like that ground where you can touch all those purposes, be happy, make other people happy, be good at what you do, and be financially secure. So I think I've rambled on long enough. I'm going to sit down and write some songs. I'll be making some videos here coming up about going to BMG Studios. I've been going there. I've been there a couple times here in Nashville. And I'll have some more live videos coming up. But in the meantime, everyone, be kind to yourself. Be kind to your neighbors. Take time to go take a walk, journal, be away from your phone. If you'd like to support this channel, I would greatly appreciate it. That would help me create more content and be a little bit more polished, and a little bit more regular, but simply just watching, commenting, following, liking, subscribing helps me out greatly. All the people who have watched so far this part of me along this journey, thank you so much. I'm not sure if I'm going to make this members only or not, because that's something I struggle with. Like, does everyone out there want to hear this deeply personal stuff, or is this for only like more of the people who have been there from the beginning? And if you want to look at my videos from the beginning, have fun, because it's quite the journey. I encourage you to look back on the progress I've made. But I always worry about throwing off the algorithm. So I have like a $5 per month paid membership that some people have, and they get to see all the B-roll stuff. They get to see the outtakes. They get to see me doing the live streams like right now, that after times I'm like, okay, this doesn't have as much to do with my professional mission, so I'm just going to make this members only. So I might be migrating to Patreon at some point, or splitting off channels. But for right now, we're just figuring it out as we go. So thanks for watching. Everyone have a great week.